Hello and welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for today. Single dose of AstraZeneca vaccine massively reduces the risk of death. Ministry of Health officials visit Oman Convention Center. Agreement signed to build 32 housing units in Oman. Oman's model of Renaissance, an example for all to follow. Bodies of suspected COVID-19 victims wash up on Ganges river banks. US approves BioNTech Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines for adolescents. Israel responds to Hamas rockets with deadly airstrikes in Gaza. Babar Azam named ICC Men's Player of the Month for April, while Lisa Healy bags Women's Award. Hamilton overhauls Verstappen in race-long battle. Those are the headlines for today. Now, a quick weather fact. Today's weather update is brought to you by Oman Data Park. Did you know that the air located around a lightning bolt is heated to around 30,000 degrees Celsius? This is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. That was a fact for today. Now let's take a look at the weather update from Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authority. An alert has been issued indicating reduced visibility during fog formation. Apart from that, we've got clear to partly cloudy skies over the Dhofar Governorate and mainly clear skies over the rest of the Sultanate with chances of late night and early morning low-level clouds and fog patches over parts of South Al-Sharqiya and Al-Wusta Governorates. With that, let's take a look at what the weather will be like throughout the Sultanate. Muscat will be sunny with temperatures between 27 degrees Celsius and 38 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny with temperatures between 24 and 36 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny with temperatures between 25 and 36 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Batana will also be sunny with temperatures between 26 and 38 degrees Celsius. Al-Buremi will be sunny with temperatures between 23 and 40 degrees Celsius. Al-Dahira will be sunny with temperatures between 22 and 40 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhliya will be sunny with temperatures between 24 and 39 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiya will be sunny with temperatures between 23 and 39 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Sharqiya will also be sunny with temperatures between 26 and 36 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny with temperatures between 27 and 43 degrees Celsius, and Dhofar will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 26 and 33 degrees Celsius. Hello and welcome back to Midday Update. In some COVID-19 news, a single dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine can reduce the risk of dying from COVID-19 by 80%. As for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, the protection against the risk of death may reach 97% after receiving 2 doses. In a statement, Oman TV said that the Public Health Authority in England stated that a single dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine reduces the risk of death from COVID-19 by 80%. The Public Health Authority confirmed that the protection from the risk of death provided by the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine increases from about 80% after the first dose to 97% after 2 doses. His Excellency Ministry of Health's Under-Secretary for Health Affairs and Her Excellency Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism for Tourism visited Oman Convention and Exhibition Center or OCEC, which will be used as an immunization site in June. A statement issued by the Ministry of Health said the following. In the implementation of the ministerial decision issued by the Supreme Committee tasked with tackling developments resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic regarding the use of Oman Convention and Exhibition Center as COVID-19 immunization site in Muscat Governorate during the upcoming month of June, His Excellency Dr. Mohammad Saif Al-Hosni, Ministry of Health's Under-Secretary for Health Affairs, and Her Excellency Maitha Saif Al-Maharouki, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism for Tourism, visited the OCEC to examine the work in progress and the requirements needed for the national immunization campaign against COVID-19. An agreement was signed to establish 32 housing units for low-income people in the Muscat Governorate with more than 1 million Omani Riyals. Alexo has been keen to tap the Omani model in its endeavors to enrich the march of joint Arab action. Oman is an active member of Alexo that participates continuously in all of the organization's conferences and educational, intellectual and scientific events, he said. Speaking to Oman News Agency, he said that the Alexo often approaches Oman's National Committee for Education, Culture and Sciences to benefit from its expertise in various spheres. This National Committee is an active member of the Alexo's consultative bodies. To help bring more awareness over culture and identity, Oman helped organize joint research over the headgears commonly worn in Arab states, an effort ud Ammar called Remarkable. This was set up as part of the Arab Theatre Development Strategy. Oman has also hosted a number of Alexo's training workshops on building capacities in the field of safeguarding cultural heritage. The Director General in his interview also spoke about future plans for the Pan-Arabia organization. We seek to intensify the use of technology in developing education with emphasis on the 4IR or Fourth Industrial Revolution, artificial intelligence techniques and methods of empowering children through the introduction of digitized innovative skills at an early age. Those are the local stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back.
It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories. Locals in the northern state of Bihar in India found dozens of dead bodies on the banks of the river Ganges, media reported on Monday. The bodies, which floated down from Uttar Pradesh, were of coronavirus victims whose families could not afford the cost of cremation, authorities said. Some 35 to 40 bodies were spotted. Many of these could be COVID-19 victims. On normal days, we see 2 to 3 such bodies on this stretch of river, but the number is high because of the deadly outbreak, local official Naval Kant said. Some of the corpses had been partially burned and bloated, suggesting that they had been in the water for several days. Locals said that they believed the bodies had been dumped as cremation sites in rural India were being overwhelmed. Many locals, especially in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, two of India's poorest states, are not able to afford wood or to pay workers who are charging more for coronavirus cremations. It was reported that the bodies would undergo autopsies and be given funerals paid for by the government. The US Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, gave its approval for emergency use of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine in adolescents on Monday, the body said in a statement. The decision allows for the vaccine to be administered to people aged 12 and up, bringing the minimum age down from 16. The FDA's expansion of the emergency use authorization for the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine to include adolescents 12 through 15 years of age is a significant step in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, Acting FDA Commissioner Janet Woodcock said in a statement. Today's action allows for a younger population to be protected from COVID-19, bringing us closer to returning to a sense of normalcy and to ending the pandemic, she added. BioNTech Pfizer is the first vaccine to be authorized for use on people younger than 16 in the US. The head of the European Medicines Agency, Emma Cook, told journalists on Monday that approval for the BioNTech Pfizer vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds in the EU may be given as early as this month. Right now, the goal we've set ourselves is approval in June. We are trying to see if we can accelerate that for the end of May, she said. Violent clashes continued in Jerusalem on Monday following days of protests against Israeli attempts to evict Palestinians living in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood in the Israeli-annexed eastern part of the city. The morning was marked by Israeli police storming the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound and firing stun grenades, tear gas and rubber bullets after police reported that Palestinian protesters had been throwing stones onto a nearby roadway. Hamas, the parliamentary group in control of the Gaza Strip, fired rockets into Israel after Israeli authorities refused to withdraw from the Temple Mount and Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. Several hundred rockets were launched, but most were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. Retaliatory airstrikes by the Israeli military into Gaza killed 8 Hamas militants, according to the military. The Palestinian authorities in Gaza said 20 people were killed, including 9 children, and some 65 were wounded. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with the sports news.
It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together.
Back to midday update now for the sports stories. Pakistan skipper Babar Azam won the ICC Men's Player of the Month for April, following the consistent and outstanding performances across all formats in the recently concluded series against South Africa. The Women's Award went to Australia's Alyssa Healy. The International Cricket Council on Monday announced the winners of the ICC Player of the Month awards for April, which recognize and celebrate the best performances from both male and female cricketers across all forms of international cricket. Babar's match-winning 82-ball 94 in the third ODI against South Africa helped him gain 13 rating points to reach a career-best 865 points. He also contributed 122 from 59 balls in Pakistan's successful chase in the third match of a T20 international series against the same opposition. Commenting on Babar's performance in April, Ramiz Raja, representing the ICC Voting Academy, said the following. The world bats in two ways in white ball cricket. One way is to destroy attacks with muscle and force, and then there is the Babar Azam way, like conducting a batting symphony with punch, panache and flair, and he deserves to win this award. Healy bagged the Women's Award for April for her consistency with the bat, which was a significant part of Australia's dominance, showing her class in all conditions and against all types of bowling in the recent series against New Zealand. Healy played 3 ODIs versus New Zealand, scoring 155 runs at an average of 51.66 and a strike rate of 98.72. Her efforts saw her finish as the leading run scorer in Australia's series victory over New Zealand that extended their record-winning streak to 24 ODIs. Commenting on Healy's performance in April, Ian Bishop, representing the ICC Voting Academy, added, saying the following. Healy deserves to win the ICC Women's Player of the Month April as she added the runs at the top consistently and at a good tempo to help set up Australia's scoring in chases and target setting across all 3 games of the record-breaking series. An incredible, tense, race-long battle between Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton saw the latter triumph on Sunday for his 6th Spanish Grand Prix win. The reigning world champion brilliantly executed a 2-stop strategy to claim his 3rd win in 4 races this season, as Verstappen finished ahead of the second Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. Verstappen led the majority of the race after brilliantly snatching the lead from Hamilton into turn 1 at the start, with Red Bull then committing to a 1-stop strategy around the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya as Hamilton opted for 2. But with 6 laps to go, Hamilton used the superior performance of his newer tyres to pass the Dutchman into turn 1 and check out for his 98th victory and 5th straight win at the circuit, Verstappen ultimately deciding to pit for softs once Hamilton was passed and go for a consolation fastest lap, which he duly got. With Hamilton and Verstappen having been in a class of their own in Spain, Bottas came home a distant 3rd after his own race-long battle with Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, who overcame Ferrari's 2021 race pace woes to take an excellent 4th, while Red Bull's Sergio Perez put in a solid recovery drive from P8 on the grid to take 5th. McLaren's Daniel Ricciardo drove arguably his strongest race of the year to take 6th ahead of home hero Carlos Sainz in the second Ferrari. Lando Norris in the second McLaren had an off-key afternoon but still managed P8, the first time he's finished outside the top 5 this season, with Alpine's Esteban Ocon and AlphaTauri's Pierre Gasly rounding out the final points-paying positions. But after his 100th pole position on Saturday, it was Hamilton who once again demonstrated his class in Catalonia to deny Verstappen once again and move 14 points clear at the top of the drivers' standings. Those are the local, international and sports stories. Stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.